And get a free adjustable base upgrade at Mermaid Mattress.
The scorching summer heat is here, and while most of us are going to be heading out at the pool or the lake or on the boat, someplace to stay cool, underneath your house, trouble can be brewing. Lucky for us, Doug Landry is back on the show. He's with AFS, and he says, watch now for those telltale cracks, kind of. Is that right? That can begin to appear?
Yeah, you'll start to see the cracks in the mortar of your brick veneer or in the mortar of the actual block of the foundation.
Yeah.
That's indicating that there's going to be some movement going on, especially with all the heat that we have. It's starting to dry things out. When you get dry out like that, the soil start to compact a little bit.
Right.
And when that happens, it causes voids underneath your house, around the foundation, and it'll cause your foundation to sink and fall.
So, okay, so take us back to 8th grade science class where we all learned, whatever age we learned it, about the expansion and retraction, right, with the heat and the cold.
Right. So whenever you have a lot of water coming in, like we had the last few months, we had a lot of rain coming in, all that water was soaking into the ground. It allows that soil to expand, kind of like a sponge. And then as we get into the drier season that we're entering right now, all that heat coming in, it's starting to dry that soil out, so it's going to start shrinking that soil back up. And when it does this expansion and contraction over and over again, it's kind of like what we're seeing right now, it will start to cause those voids to form, and when that happens, you'll have fall. Okay, so
I like how you keep saying the soil does this and the soil does that. So we live in an area where a lot of people have crawl spaces.
Right.
But if you have a finished basement, are you still susceptible to this?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We go into finished basements all the time that have these issues where you'll see a crack on the outside. Of course, you can't see it on the inside because it's completely finished.
Because it's coming from your yard.
Correct, because the soil underneath is causing the issue itself. All the water is always the culprit for everything that we do, whether it's lack of water or it's too much water.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you have a hole in your roof, this has nothing to do with us, but if you have a hole in your roof, really the hole in the roof is not the problem, it's the water that's going to get in there.
So you said it is the root of all that we do. What do you do if you're out cutting your grass this weekend and you see this not so friendly crack? Early intervention is key?
Absolutely. Yeah, get ahead of the problem, because the one thing that we absolutely run into is people will see a crack and they're like, oh, it's normal to have a crack in your foundation. It's not. It's not normal. You don't want to have a crack in your foundation, and if you wait too long, the repair can go from a really relatively inexpensive repair to a very costly repair. And it'll just get worse and worse and worse as you wait. So getting ahead of it is really the key to keeping your house.
So you don't know this, but when we moved about 4 years ago, and when we bought the house, the people who originally built it were the ones that we bought it from, and he was so proud, and rightly so, because when they built the house, they encapsulated the crawl space, and y'all are the ones that did it.
Okay.
So he was so proud to open up that door, and I swear we could have had a picnic under there. It was so clean, but it gave us such reassurance to know that we were totally protected. Absolutely. And I think that what y'all do is you have kind of a warning system in place in there, so that if ever something does happen in a pipe burst or something, you're alerted. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we have on our systems that you're talking about, we do have pumps that have warning sounds. They'll start beeping, or we call it trilling sometimes. But it's just a loud beep that it's going to happen. I mean, there's too much water in your crawl space, your pump's being overran. So if there is a pipe leaking or anything like that, or if you just have a lot of water coming from somewhere that you're just not sure of, it'll give you an early warning signal saying, hey, there's something going on. You need to call AFS, or you need to get somebody out there to take a look at what's going on, meaning a plumber or anything like that.
So it was one thing to do that when you're building a house. If you already have a house and you're thinking, gee, I kind of need that, especially with people choosing to stay put in today's housing market and kind of renovate their home, can you still do that? Can you encapsulate?
Absolutely. We really more go into houses that are already built and have crawl spaces that are not encapsulated. We'll go in there and do that as soon as possible, as soon as the customer will call us.
I mentioned this to you before we started, that I think last time we talked, you said something that was a surprise to me. So forget the foundation and the exterior of your house. If you're upstairs watching a movie and there's a crack in the wall, does that also possibly indicate a foundational problem?
Yeah, it can indicate a foundation problem. It can indicate a problem with your floor framing system, which is the wood that actually your house is built on top of, because you have a foundation wall that's block brick or something.
Do y'all look at that too?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah. And a crack in your sheetrock or a crack above a door, anything like that, that's another indication that there is an issue going on. And again, it could be from the air being too dry, so it's allowing the crack to come back out, and you're seeing it more. Indication that there's something going on in your crawl space. Usually it has to do with moisture. I say usually, most of the time it is moisture, and to get rid of that moisture is the key, and that's what we want to do. It's kind of like it's the root of the problem we want to get to. Of course, we will repair whatever we need to as well.
So I'm thinking back to my childhood when my dad would say, oh, it's just the house settling. The creaky floor is just the house settling. Not always the case.
No, it's not. Houses do settle. We like to inform our customers whenever we're talking to them, and one of the things that we definitely inform them on is there is such thing as uniform settling, which is normal. Uniform settlings where the whole house is going to settle at one time. That is absolutely going to happen, because a new build, it's going to sit. What we run into where you have those problems, where you have a crack in the brick or a crack in the sheetrock, is called differential settlement, and basically it's where the house settles at different areas. So you have one part of the house settling more than the other one.
Okay, so here we get to snag you at our great benefit for a few minutes on the show. If people are thinking, I need them to come to my house, do y'all do free estimates?
Absolutely. All our estimates are free. We come out, we'll spend time with the homeowner. We'll get to know what their issues are. We'll get to know what their plans are, if they're going to sell the house, if they're going to stay there forever. And then we do a diagnosis and spend time making sure that we're doing a complete and thorough inspection, so that we can give the homeowner all the information they need to make an informed decision.
And once you get that basement or crawl space straightened out, your air gets cleaner too, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the Education 101 this morning.
Oh, no
Doug.
problem. No problem.
You can reach out to them at AFS. It is foundation and waterproofing. Go do an inspection of your house, but they're here in Saudi Daisy. 226-3546 is their phone number. Online, it's afsrepair.com.
West Yellow Knife Trading Post is everything under the sun. Huge selection of vanities starting at $2.99. Unfinished